Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's officially time to do my September TBR and I'm so excited because I have a lot planned and prepared and put together for this month. It's gonna be a little crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna get to everything. I have everything all set up for my September goals and to write out my TBR. Then I also have Bookathon ready to go, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And Magical Readathon, which I do want to print out the map for the novice path and paste it in there, but I've not done that yet. Then on the other side of this I have all my video ideas because I would like to try to post every day in September again, because even though in June I didn't post every day, just having that like expectation on me, I posted more than I have the last 2 months. And I want to get back to that, so I'm going to try to post every day. Probably won't actually happen, but just like setting that goal will help me post more. Before we get into anything, basically what I'm going to do is go through the ongoing books that I'm reading, as well as a special September and October read. Then we'll do my TBR game. Then we'll do Bookathon, and I'll go over my personal rules for that. And then I'll talk about Magical Readathon. First of all, the books that absolutely need to have some progress made in the month of September, starting with, of course, Kids Ministry That Nourishes. I read this every week before I serve in kids at my church, and I just keep reading little bit by little bit. Then I'll be hopefully finishing Rewriting Your Broken Story. I got through a lot in August, so hopefully this month I will get through the rest of this, which would be great because I also have another devotional that I'm adding to my TBR this month. It will start at the end of the month, but that's the 40 Days for Life devotional. I haven't read through, well, I haven't ever read completely through this, but it has like a 4 to 5 page excerpt for every day of the 40 Days for Life campaign. Hopefully get into this starting on September 22nd and going all the way through October. Then we, of course, have my continuation of Fixing My Eyes on Jesus devotional, and I can't believe that 2021 is coming to a close in the next few months. Like, we only have 4 more months of this devotional, and then I'm gonna have to figure out something else to do. I need to continue reading this every day. Then my priority book in September is something that I've had on my TBR literally this entire year, I think, or maybe just the last few months, and it feels like a year, because I keep getting intimidated. Even though I'm enjoying this story, I end up putting it off, and I really have to prioritize it this month because next month I'm starting to read Anna Karenina, so I need to finish The Brothers Karamazov this month, and I am on page 164 out of like 980. I always forget how many pages. 985. Yeah, I have approximately 800 pages, 820 pages to be exact, to read this month. Those are the books that are already picked for me. Now it is time to get into my TBR game. If you remember last month, I decided to make a consistent change to my TBR game in that basically I can read the amount of books that I read the month previous, and my TBR choices are based off what I rated the books that I read in the previous month. Let me rephrase that. My TBR game is based off of the ratings that I gave the books I read in the previous month. So whatever I will read for September, or whatever I'll draw in my TBR game for September, is based off of what I rated the books I read in August. Now, if you saw my wrap-up, that you know what I rated everything, and you know that I had, wait, I have to look back. You guys might know this better than I do. I had a 2-star book, 2 3-star books, 3 4-star books, and 1 5-star book set. What basically that means I'll draw 1 title out of my 5-star predictions box. Now, I really need to go through and rewrite these, but I didn't want to rewrite them so close to drawing a title out because I didn't want to like remember it, if that makes sense. But a lot of these I've already read, so I may have to draw twice. We shall see. I'll get to do that once because I had 1 5-star read. I'll roll the dice twice and draw 3 books because I read 3 4-star books last month, and I read 2 books that I rated 3 stars, so I will get to draw from this white container and the gray container, and I'll just rotate through those. And then lastly, I read 1 2-star book, which means that I need to read the next 2 books from the middle grade section at my library. I have not been over to my library because I'd like to see how my TBR game goes before I go over there, but I will need to read the next 2 books on that. There's that. I'm gonna work my way backwards, so just to note, I still need to read 2 middle grade books. I'm going to try to keep track of my TBR as I go along, so I went ahead and wrote a note that I need to add 2 middle grade books to my TBR list. And let's go ahead and get started with I still don't know what to call these. If you guys saw my first TBR game video, I didn't know what to call these then. I still don't know what to call them. We'll call them containers for the purposes of this video. I need to draw a prompt from this top container. Let's find out what it is. Free ebook. Okay, so I need to find a free ebook. It goes through. I just found an ebook that I borrowed from my library, and it's called Creative Courage. You can't see that whatsoever, can you? But it's a really pretty cover, and it's all about talking about like being brave and creating, leveraging imagination, collaboration, and innovation to create success beyond your wildest dreams. Now I'm gonna go ahead and choose one from this silver gray container that we decided that's what it's called. And it is a science prompt, so anything that's sciencey. This may be a little bit of a stretch, but it's political science. Don't think that's what I meant by this prompt, but I am thinking at this point, unless I find something that works a little bit better for the prompt, of going with Fighting for Life by Lila Rose. And I really want to read this book, so I think we're gonna stretch that prompt. Plus, technically, 40 Days for Life will also be a sciencey kind of book, so I think we're gonna go with it. I'm gonna double check downstairs, make sure I don't have anything that I haven't read that fits the science prompt. I'll be right back. I did not find anything else, so I'm gonna go with Fighting for Life by Lila Rose. It's the most sciencey book that I have other than like old school textbooks, and I'm not feeling those. So let's just go with this, shall we? Thank you. It's perfect for the 40 Days for Life. I think this will be great, and I got it for my birthday. So I will always link in the description the books that I've chosen so you guys can read them too, if you are at all inclined to do so. So I drew 2 for the books that I rated 3 stars. Now, I rated 3 books 4 stars last month, which means that I get to roll this little dice 3 times. If you're not familiar with how that works, that basically means, normally I have books up here that I'm continuing, but I don't have any up here. Okay, so you can't see the books that are on my dresser right now. I'm gonna count. If it comes up a 1 or a 2, then I'll pick one of the dresser books. If it's a 3 or a 4, it'll be one of these, and we'll just sort it like we did last time. And then if it's a 5 or 6, you can't see down here, I'll pick this and try to finish that up. Okay, ready? I'm not looking at it. A 1. So the 4 books that I had up on my dresser are these 4. The Circle Maker, The Most Beautiful Disaster, How Did I Get Here? I don't know why I can't remember the title. Simple Abundance, a daybook of comfort and joy, which that one is like a year-round, like daily essay reading book. I would just read the ones for September if I got that. So I'm gonna say a 1 or a 2 is Circle Maker, 3 is The Most Beautiful Disaster, 4 is this essay book, and then a 5 or a 6 will be How Did I Get Here? A 5. So that means the one on the bottom, which one was that? How Did I Get Here? Okay. So I will be reading this. It feels really short now that I'm like holding it in my hand. It's definitely shorter than the other ones. This book is 195 pages, so hopefully I'll get through that pretty quickly, and actually I might save it until after Rewriting Your Broken Story, because this would make a really good devotional. But yeah, this is what the dice has chosen for the first dice pick. Once again, I'll pick from this stack if it's a 1 or a 2, this shelf if it's a 3 or a 4, and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People if it's a 5 or a 6. It's a 2. You guys see that? We picked from one of these, so basically I'm going to go backwards this time. A 1 or a 2 will be the essays, a 3 or a 4 will be the most beautiful disaster, and a 5 or 6 will be the circle maker. It's a 4, which is, oh good, the most beautiful disaster. I'm really excited to read this. Getting all my birthday books. Yes! So then for the third dice roll, again, these 2 will be a 1 or a 2, and then we'll figure it out from there. This middle shelf a 3 or a 4, and the bottom shelf a 5 or a 6. It's a 2. Okay. I feel like this TBR game's really fixed to make me read my birthday books, which is not bad at all, because I'm very excited about all of them. So I'm going to say a 1, 2, or 3 will be the circle maker, a 4, 5, or 6, and I'll read the September entries of the essay book. It's a 6, so I guess I am reading the essays. The circle maker is upside down and left standing. Will I choose it with the rest of my TBR game and Bookopoly and Magical Readathon? We shall see. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here for now. The last one on my TBR game, I get to choose one of these titles, which I may or may not have already read. It's this little teeny tiny one. I'll let you guys see it first if I can open it up. I don't know what that says. 100 Best Loved Poems. Okay, that's a book that I have at my grandma's house, so I guess I'm reading a poetry book. So that is my TBR game. Now we need to move on to Bookopoly-thon. So for this portion of the video, we're going to talk about Bookopoly-thon, and I am playing one of the 2 ways. I'm playing the roll as you go way, which basically means that I will choose one book at a time, unless for whatever reason the game hates me and gives me doubles. I'm going to first of all adjust the camera so that you guys can see my board and my notebook page, and we'll talk all about it. Let me go ahead and preface, I printed out the wrong Bookopoly-thon board because we have a black and white printer. I colored it in, like I decorated it. I really went all out and prepared this game, and then I realized that it's not the right board. And so I do not have the 2021 Bookopoly-thon board, but we're going with it anyway. So please just bear with me, go there with me. Let's play the game. Hopefully I'll be able to zoom this in so it doesn't look really weird. But basically I created this page in my booktube journal, and I literally just pasted in my Bookopoly-thon board, and I made a little pocket so I have my community shelf cards and my chance cards. I will just keep them kind of like this. I am finally doing this. I've never done it after 2 years of watching her channel. I'm finally going to do this, and I'm playing Roll As You Go with 3 specific rules. My first rule for this is I have to prioritize the Brothers Karamazov, and then I will get to read my Bookopoly-thon picks. I also have the rule that I can only take 1 Bookopoly-thon turn per day until my personal TBR and my magical readathon prompts are fulfilled. Once those are done, then I can play Bookopoly-thon as much as I want, but until that's all done, I can only do 1 turn per day. The only exception to that is if I roll doubles. In that case, I will choose 1 book from this game and 1 book from the actual 2021 digital version. I'm not going to try to print it out and color it. But then if I roll doubles, I will play with the current version as well as this one. So, are we ready to choose the first book? I've been so excited for this. Let me get my game piece. Hold on. We are going to play with none other than our queen, Amy's Tiara from the Big Bang Theory Monopoly game. And we'll start on go. And we don't need that green piece. Here are my 2 die. Move these cards just so they're not in the way. Put them down here. Are we ready? Please be something I want. Okay, so we didn't get doubles. We got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. TBR Vet. Fantastic. You know what? For that, I'm just gonna go over to my TBR cart and choose what book I have been trying to read the longest that I've already started and I need to finish. I was considering Sense and Sensibility because I do want to go back into that, but I am going to continue this since I just read a part of I Am Malala last night. I want to see if I want to continue it or unhaul it or what. So that is going to be my Bookopoly-thon pick. Of course, I have to prioritize the Brothers Karamazov before I read this, but hopefully we'll get to this. That's my first Bookopoly-thon pick. Okay, my tripod's all messed up after filming that, but we have success with I Am Malala for the Magical Readathon because there's a map. Okay, I know this is not the most magical book to read, but it's going to count. And the way that I want to play the Magical Readathon is to take one step at a time, so to speak, on the novice path. Of course, I'd like to get some books that will fulfill my character prompts. But since we don't have to do that until April, I'm not going to stress myself out about it right now. But I will try to do one step on the path as we go along, and I'll try to do some update videos so you guys can see my path coming along. I Am Malala will fulfill that prompt. So it's going to be my Bookopoly-thon first pick and my first pick for Magical Readathon. So we have this, and let me get the rest of my TBR. So these, of course, are the books I'm continuing, and then I don't think I can get my TBR stack. I can never hold it. I have way too much ambition. And, oh gosh. And my TBR game decided that I needed to read almost all of my birthday picks. The only one that it didn't pick was the Circle Maker, which is probably the one I'm most excited to read. So we're gonna have to work that in there somewhere. Probably for Magical Readathon. Which I don't think is the point of Magical Readathon, but I feel okay reading nonfiction books for Magical Readathon because Magical Readathon has like the game aspect to it. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, this is my absolutely ridiculous, as usual, stack of books that I cannot hold. I got it. I don't got it. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this TBR game video. Now, it's going to continue because I have to roll as I go with Bookopoly-thon, and I have several Magical Readathon prompts to fill. As you can see over here, I only wrote in I Am Malala. So as I go along, I will fill these in. Now, I probably am going to use some of these TBR picks for these, but I won't actually fill in the path until I get to it. It makes sense in my head. Hopefully it'll make sense when you guys see what I'm doing. On that note, I'm super exhausted from filming this game. I hope it was enjoyable. I hope it made sense. I hope it's not like torture to edit. With that, I'm ready to get into this month of reading. On that note, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have done your TBR video, if you're doing Bookopoly-thon, and if you're doing Magical Readathon, because I want to know who else is doing it. And I always make a monthly playlist of TBR games and TBR videos so that anybody who, like me, if you get in the mood to like watch a TBR game video in the middle of the month, you can just go to the playlist and they're all right there for you. So I would love to add your video to that if you have one. Anyway, just let me know that in the comments, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow, which should be my analytics video. We shall see, but that's what it should be. Alright, bye!